Hi, this is Ron Gannett at Community Church at Saddlebrook here in beautiful Arizona. And today I would like to introduce our congregation to one of our newest staff members, Debbie Marshall. Debbie and her husband Rick have been worshiping with us for a couple months, and she's already become a part of our congregation. And Debbie, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome to Community
Church.
I'm
so happy to be here. Thanks.
You know, a lot of people here know you, but some don't. Tell us about your husband Rick and your daughter.
Rick and I moved to Saddlebrook about 1.5 years ago. We love it here. We've been married 30 years. We just had our 30th wedding anniversary and celebrated that. We have one daughter. She is 29. She still lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. We wish it wasn't so far away, but it is. But we're a close group, but we just love it here.
That's why God made Southwest Airlines.
That's what I say.
You know, how did you ever find Saddlebrook?
We were living in Park City, Utah. For us, that was the dream. Get to Park City. We like to ski. The winters there are about 10 months long, and so we just decided let's take off and see what else is in the Southwest just to get out of the snow. Came across the hill like so many people do, saw these mountains, had no idea Tucson could be this beautiful, and we said we have to live here. So we moved here, and we have no plans to ever go anywhere else.
Now, you're really not a stranger at our church because, Debbie, you've gotten to know a lot of our people and been involved with some of our church ministries. Tell us about your involvement.
The first ministry I became involved in was the women's Bible study groups here. Before I even came to Saddlebrook, when we were in that interim period moving from Park City, I contacted Sandy Rivas, who coordinates that ministry, and said I want to be in a group. And so she put me in a women's Bible study group, and it was wonderful. And the women were wonderful, and there were so many leaders, and it was just a very passionate group of women who wanted to know the Lord more, and I love that. So since then, I keep going to those Bible studies, met a lot of women, and now I'm leading one.
I think our people would like to know a little bit about your background, about maybe your work experience, or especially your career in worship ministries. How has God used you?
I didn't become a Christian until I was 20, and I know that's early, but it's also late.
Just a couple years ago?
Yeah. Anyway, not too long after that, I knew I have such a heart for God. I feel so touched for the way He's changed my life and has literally given me life. And so I wanted to serve Him, and I know that I was made to worship Him. And for me, that's been through music. I started off in college as a music major. And then logically, at that time, remember I wasn't really God-focused because I was a new Christian, thought, I can't get a job doing this, so I changed my major, and I didn't end up graduating in music. But God still has used me in music since early years. So I went into music ministry with a church when I'm going to say maybe I was 25, 26 as their minister of music. Stayed with them for 10 years, and that was back in the early 80s. And that church was transitioning from being a very traditional church as far as their worship service and their music goes, to doing more of a blended service. And we brought in some praise music and our choir. I led their choir. I did a comprehensive music program from children all the way to adults. And we grew our choir from, I think we had maybe 15 to 20 when I got there. When I left, we had 65, and we just loved the Lord together, established relationships. We grew together. We studied the Bible together. We prayed together. We sang together. We did everything together and learned how to love the Lord even more, and I loved it.
Can you tell that Debbie likes worship? Debbie, you know, people like you are just wired tremendously to guide and help other people in worship. When you think of the word worship, what do you think of?
Oh, for me, and I recognize that it is different for every person. For some people, that may be art. I don't have any, I'm just not talented. But for me, worship means that I just bow before the Father, and it always has to do with music or some sort of creative way of expression of my tremendous love and adoration for who He is, for what He does, and for all He's given us. And to me, that is my only response, the only response I can have to this life. there's a verse that says, "Who am I? And who is my family?" And it touches me every time, because that's how I feel. Who am I? I am His loved child, and He created me to love Him. And I do. I just adore Him.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's obvious in the way you live and everything you say. And our church family, we love the Lord, and we love our church,
Yes.
and we love the worship that we have, and we're thankful for so many people that God has brought into the life of our church. You know, one of the things that you'll be doing as part of our team is to develop a worship planning team. What would a worship planning team look like, and what would it do?
You know, the thing I loved most about this church when I came here is just this. You can feel the passion. You can feel the love of Christ in your service. And I have to just tell you, your sermons are such a ministry, and you have such a love of God, and you encourage us, challenge us, draw us to Him. And you know, that's why we're here, is to love God and to love each other. And we can take the service that you already have, that is wonderful, and we can form a team of people, and we can say, hey, we're already doing this beautifully. We love God, but let's do even more. It's just like any relationship we have, a marriage relationship, family, friends. You're always growing, looking for ways to make it better, even more than what you have. So I envision that this team will be a group of people who meet on a regular basis, and we sit and we go, hey, how was last Sunday? How was the last month of Sundays? How are we doing? Are we reaching as many people as we can? And then how can we be maybe even more creative? Maybe even a little bit more. Just enhance what we already are doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Now, we've got a lot of people involved in the worship ministries, but we have room for more, don't we?
We're going to be looking for you. Looking for you. Your church is full. Our church is full of people. Lots of people. And yet on Sundays, we have about this many that are actually involved. We need everybody's participation. Everybody has gifts. Everyone's gifts are not the same. Though I know that in a congregation our size, we have so many more people who can sing, who want to sing, who need to sing because they love God and they want to show Him they love Him. We have people that I'm sure are creatively talented actors, actresses, where we may pull in some drama and some skits. I'm sure we have people who have lived life experiences like we all have, and you have a testimony that you may want to share, a story that you could tell the church about that would touch someone else's heart, just like you most recently did with some of the members of our congregation, and we were also touched. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. We're looking for ways to diversify and just to draw as many people as we can in. So I want to get to know all of you, and we're going to give all of you a chance to be as involved as you possibly would like to be, because we would love to have you, and God would be honored to have you spend more time worshiping Him.
Well, thank you, Debbie. That's the first opportunity you have to meet Debbie. Next week, we're going to talk some more about worship and how you can be prepared and participate in the worship experience at Community Church. So, Debbie, thank you for this opportunity for us as a congregation to get to know you better. And I invite you to join me in welcoming Rick and Debbie as they come to Community Church.